Stop whatever you are doing and listen to me very carefully, because the rules of air travel are changing this Sunday, and if you are not prepared, it is going to cost you money before you even get to the gate. Do not drive to the airport this week, and certainly do not book a flight for February without watching this urgent update. If you are one of the millions of seniors who decided to skip the trip to the DMV last year because you thought the real ID deadline was just another suggestion, or if you figured you would just use your old driver's license forever because you rarely fly, your plan has officially expired. We have been warning you about the consequences of the deadline for over a year, but the federal government has just escalated the situation in a way that is going to cost you actual cash starting on Sunday, February 1st, 2026. The Transportation Security Administration has finalized the rollout of a new fee-based verification system that targets travelers who are non-compliant. If you show up to a security checkpoint next week with a standard, non-compliant License 1, without the star in the corner, you will not necessarily be turned away, but you will be charged. The new TISA Confirm ID option is launching, and the price tag is $45 per travel window. This is not a fine. This is not a penalty. This is a service fee to verify your identity manually because your ID card doesn't do it automatically. And the worst part is that this $45 fee is temporary. It only clears you for 10 days. If you fly out to visit your grandkids on the 1st and fly back on the 15th, you have to pay it twice. That is $90 just to get through the metal detector. In this broadcast, I am going to walk you through the new rules taking effect on February 1st. I am going to show you the passport card loophole that costs less than this fee and lasts for 10 years. And I am going to explain the 6-month validity trap that is causing seniors to get denied boarding even when they have a passport. This is the new reality of American travel. Let's save you some money. We have to start with the specifics of this new $45 charge because there is a lot of misinformation circulating on social media right now. People are calling it a fine for being late. Legally, it is not a fine. The Transportation Security Administration has no authority to fine you for not having a real ID. However, they do have the authority to charge for premium services or alternative screening procedures that consume extra resources. Because verifying a non-compliant ID requires a TSA officer to call a verification center, scan your biometrics, and manually input your data into a secure flight database, they have determined that this costs the agency money. Starting February 1st, 2026, they are passing that cost on to you. The program is called TISA Confirm ID. If you arrive at the airport without a real ID or a passport, you will be directed to a separate lane. You will see signage with a QR code. You will be required to go to a government website, pay.gov, on your phone and pay the $45 fee using a credit card or debit card. Once the payment clears, you get a receipt on your phone. You show that receipt to the officer, and then and only then will they begin the manual verification process to let you through. This process can take anywhere from 15 to 45 minutes, depending on the volume of travelers. If you show up late for your flight and you have to do this, you will miss your plane. And the fee is non-refundable. If you pay the $45 and they still can't verify your identity because your data doesn't match, you don't get the money back. You are out the cash, and you are still stuck in the lobby. Now, why is this happening now? We are currently past the initial enforcement deadline. For the last few months, the TSA has been operating in a grace period, or soft enforcement phase. They have been issuing warnings. They have been handing out pamphlets. They have been letting seniors through with a stern talking to. That grace period ends on Saturday night at midnight. Starting Sunday morning, the soft enforcement turns into financial enforcement. The government has realized that millions of Americans, specifically seniors over the age of 65, simply refuse to go to the DMV. Many of you commented on this channel saying, "I'm not standing in line for 4 hours for a star on my license." I get it. The DMV is a nightmare. But the government is betting that you will pay $45 to avoid that line. And they are probably right. But I am here to tell you that paying this fee is a financial mistake. It is a waste of your retirement money. Because there is a document you can get that costs less than the fee and solves the problem permanently. This brings us to the passport card solution. Everyone knows about the passport book, the blue book you use to fly to Paris or London. But many seniors ignore the passport card. This is a wallet-sized ID, the same size as your driver's license. It is a federal ID issued by the Department of State. It is valid for domestic air travel. It counts as a real ID. You can use it to fly from New York to Florida or Texas to California. You cannot use it to fly internationally, but for domestic trips, it is gold. Here is the math that makes the TSA fee look ridiculous. The cost to renew a passport card by mail is $30. If you are applying for the first time, it is $65. Let's look at the renewal price, $30. The card is valid for 10 years. That means it costs you $3 a year to have a compliant ID. Compare that to the TSA Confirm ID fee. If you pay the TSA fee one time, it is $45. That is $15 more than the cost of the passport card renewal. And the TSA fee is only good for one trip. If you travel once a year for the next 10 years using the TSA fee, you will spend $450. If you get the passport card, you spend $30. The math is undeniable. If you are sitting at home right now with a non-compliant driver's license, do not go to the DMV. Go to the post office or go online and apply for the passport card. It saves you the hassle of the DMV road test or vision test, and it saves you hundreds of dollars in airport fees over the next decade. I also need to warn you about the 10-day window associated with this new fee. When you pay the $45 for TSA Confirm ID, the receipt is valid for a travel window of 10 days. This is designed to cover a standard vacation. You fly out on Friday, you fly back the next Sunday. Both legs of the trip fall within the 10-day window, so you only pay once. But what if you are a snowbird? What if you fly to Florida on February 1st and stay for a month? You fly back on March 1st. Your 10-day window has expired. When you get to the airport in Florida to fly home, you have to pay the $45 again. Now, your round trip cost you $90. What if you go visit your daughter for 2 weeks? You fly out on the 1st, you fly back on the 15th. You missed the window by 5 days. You pay twice. This subscription model for security is a trap for seniors who take longer trips. It penalizes you for staying longer. If you have the passport card or the real ID, there are no windows. There are no fees. You just walk through. Do not let the TSA turn your travel into a subscription service. Let's pivot to the 6-month validity rule, because this is the second trap catching seniors in 2026. While the real ID issue affects domestic travel, the 6-month rule affects those of you finally taking that bucket list trip to Europe or Asia. Many of you looked at your passport last month and saw that it expires in August 2026. You think, great, I'm traveling in February, so I have plenty of time. You book the cruise. You book the flight. You get to the airport counter, and the airline agent looks at your passport and says, "I'm sorry, you cannot board." You argue with them. You say, "It doesn't expire until August. It's only February." and they tell you about the 6-month rule. Most countries, including most of Europe, Thailand, Vietnam, and many others, require your passport to be valid for at least 6 months beyond your planned date of departure. If you are traveling in February and your passport expires in August, you are right on the borderline. If it expires in July, you are already ineligible. The airline will not let you on the plane because they know the customs agent in Italy will send you right back. We are seeing thousands of seniors get denied boarding every week because of this rule. And here is the kicker. If you get denied for this reason, your travel insurance will usually not cover you. They consider it improper documentation, which is your fault, not an emergency. You lose the money for the flight. You lose the money for the cruise. All because you didn't renew early. Check your passport expiration date right now. If it expires anytime in 2026, renew it now. Do not risk it. Now, let's discuss the mobile ID option, because this is the one bright spot in the new regulations. If you live in a state like Arizona, Colorado, Georgia, Maryland, or California, you might be able to skip the physical card entirely. The TSA has started accepting mobile driver's licenses in Apple Wallet and Google Wallet at select airports. This allows you to tap your phone or watch at the security podium, just like you pay for coffee. For seniors who are comfortable with technology, this is a great backup. However, you cannot just take a photo of your license and show it to the officer. That does not count. You must go through the official setup process in your phone's settings, which usually involves scanning the front and back of your card and doing a facial scan to verify it's you. Once it is verified by the state DMV, your license lives in your phone. But here is the warning. Not every airport accepts this yet. It is currently available at about 30 major airports. If you rely on your phone and you get diverted to a small regional airport due to weather and they don't have the scanner, you are stuck. Always, always carry your physical plastic card as a backup. The technology is great, but it is not universal yet. I want to address the specific situation of name mismatches, which is plaguing women over 60. This is a massive issue with the new verification systems. When you apply for a real ID, or when you use the new TSA Confirm ID system, the computer matches your name against the Social Security database. For many women who have been married, divorced, or widowed, your name might have changed multiple times. Maybe your driver's license says Mary Smith Jones, but your Social Security card just says Mary Jones. Or your passport says Mary Ann Jones. In the old days, a human officer would look at it and say, "Okay, close enough." The new computers do not do close enough. If the names do not match character for character, the system flags you as unverified. This forces you into the paid verification process, or worse, gets you denied. Before you travel in 2026, pull out all your documents. Lay them on the table. License, passport, Social Security card, Medicare card. Do the names match exactly? If your middle name is on one but not the other, that is a risk. If you have a hyphen on one but not the other, that is a risk. If you find a mismatch, you need to fix it before you fly. Go to the Social Security office first, get that name standardized, and then update your other IDs to match it. It is a hassle, but it is better than being stranded in Chicago because the computer thinks you are two different people. For those of you who are Global Entry or TSA PreCheck members, do not get cocky. Having PreCheck does not exempt you from the ID requirements. You still have to show a valid ID. In fact, if your ID is not compliant, you lose your PreCheck privilege for that flight. You paid $85 for PreCheck to speed through the line. If you show up with a non-compliant license, They kick you out of the pre-check lane and send you to the Confirm ID lane, where you have to pay the $45 and wait in the slow line. You paid for speed, and you got slowness. Make sure your known traveler number is updated in your airline profile, but more importantly, make sure the ID you hand them is a real ID or a passport. Do not waste your pre-check investment by failing the ID check. Let's talk about the payment method for this new $45 fee. The TSA has stated that the Confirm ID stations will be cashless. This is a huge problem for many seniors who prefer to carry cash when they travel. If you show up to the checkpoint with a 20 and 2 10s and say, "I want to pay the fee," they will not take it. You must use a credit card, a debit card, or a mobile payment method like Apple Pay. If you do not have a card with you, or if your card gets declined because you are traveling and the bank flagged it, you are stuck. You cannot pay the fee. You cannot fly. This is another reason why relying on this pay-as-you-go system is dangerous. It introduces too many variables. What if the card reader is broken? What if the internet is down at the checkpoint? If you have the physical passport card or real ID, you don't need electricity or internet to prove who you are. You just show the card. For peace of mind, get the physical document. I also want to mention the state-specific extensions that some of you might be relying on. Some states have told their residents, "Don't worry, we have an extension. Be very careful." The federal government has signaled that all extensions end on February 1st, 2026. If your state DMV website says you have until 2027, they might be talking about something else, or they might be outdated. The TSA is a federal agency. They follow federal timelines, not state timelines. If the TSA says the deadline is passed, it doesn't matter what the governor of your state says. The TSA officer answers to the Department of Homeland Security. Do not get caught in a jurisdictional dispute at the security checkpoint. Assume the federal deadline is the only one that matters. Let's go back to the passport card renewal process, because I want to give you the exact steps so you can do this today. You do not need to go to a specialized office. You can do this by mail if you already have a passport book or card that was issued less than 15 years ago. You need Form DS-82. You can download it from travel.state.gov. You fill it out. You attach your new photo. You write a check for $30. You mail it in. The processing times right now are actually quite good, about 4 to 6 weeks. If you do it now, you will have the card before the summer travel season. If you wait until April or May, the processing times will triple as everyone else panics. Beat the rush. Spend the $30 now. It is the best travel insurance you can buy. What if you have a limited validity passport? Some seniors who lost their passports in the past were issued temporary ones valid for only 1 year. If you have one of these, check the date. You cannot renew a limited passport by mail using the easy form. You have to go in person. Do not mail it in, or they will keep your money and deny the application. Look at the endorsement on the back page of your passport. It will tell you if it is a full validity or limited validity document. Finally, I want to address the why of all this. Why is the government doing this to seniors? They claim it is about security. They want to know exactly who is getting on planes. The real ID standards require you to prove your legal residence and citizenship. The old licenses didn't. By forcing everyone into real ID or passports, they are closing a security gap. But by charging $45 for the alternative, they are also creating a revenue stream. They know that 18 million Americans still don't have the right ID. 18 million times $45 is over $800 million. That is a massive amount of money. Do not contribute to that fund. Keep your money in your pocket. The system is designed to penalize procrastination. If you act now, you win. If you wait until the day of your flight, you pay. So, here is your action plan for this week. Step 1. Open your wallet and look at your driver's license. Does it have a star? Step 2. If yes, stop worrying. You are good. Go fly. Step 3. If no, look for your passport book. Is it valid? Does it have at least 6 months left before it expires? Step 4. If your passport is expired or you don't want to carry it, go online and download Form DS-82 to get the passport card. Step 5. Mail it in with your $30. Step 6. If you must fly in February before the card arrives, bring your checkbook to the airport and be prepared to pay the $45. And get to the airport 3 hours early, not 2. The verification line will be slow. Travel should be about joy. It should be about seeing family and exploring the world. It shouldn't be about arguing with a federal agent over a star on a piece of plastic. Don't let a paperwork error ruin your trip. Take control of your documents today. We will be tracking the launch of the Confirm ID system on February 1st. If there are massive delays or system crashes, we will post an update immediately. But for now, assume the fees are live and the rules are strict. Safe travels, get your papers in order, and I'll see you in the next update.